Okay, so first, what do you hope is the message that people watching the turnout here in Texas and across the country for No Kings, what message do you hope that delivers?
You know, at a time that the president and the most powerful people in this country want us to give up or to give in or to succumb to the temptation to despair, here you have nearly 30,000 Texans on a very hot day. I've sweat through this shirt twice and it's dried back twice, who 12 months before an election are doing everything they can with what they have right where they are to make sure that we do not slide into authoritarianism or fascism or lose what Lincoln called the last best hope of Earth. And it makes me so damn proud of this state and the people who live in it and what they're doing right now in a place that is so often written off by the rest of the country. So big surprises coming out of Texas over the next 12 months, and you're getting a preview of that here today.
What's on your mind when there's a lot of things that people are concerned about and have brought up as we've spoken to ralliers today, but what are you most concerned that you're seeing in Texas?
We are seeing an unprecedented rise of authoritarianism. What does that mean? It means they're trying to keep people from voting or running for office or peacefully assembling. The governor, for example, today threatening to send in the guard to do what? There are people in inflatable dinosaur costumes who are walking the streets of Austin. So look, we can't give in to that, right? And we cannot give up in the face of that intimidation. But it concerns me because they're trying to stop the peaceful, nonviolent democratic process whereby we should be able to pick our own representatives. They've already, as you know, gerrymandered mid-decade 5 congressional seats to steal them not only from the Democratic representatives, but the voters who put those people in positions of public trust in the first place. Now we could concede that and say, you know what, I guess those are just going to be Republican seats, or we could get on the ground and fight for them. And I guarantee you, that's what the people here and across the state of Texas are going to do. So I have real concerns, but I also have real hope founded in the real action that I'm seeing today and every day going forward until we win these elections next November.
Mr. O'Rourke, Nick Reynolds with the Texas Tribune. I noticed in your speech you did a walkthrough of U.S. history, and your speech and a lot of others have touched on very patriotic elements, and I'm curious if you could expand on why you feel it's so important to touch on such heavy patriotism at this time and during the protests.
Because people understandably are tempted to despair right now, given everything that's happening. You know, troops in the street, the president potentially going to invoke the Insurrection Act to bypass Congress and the courts and to deploy active duty soldiers here to Austin or really anywhere he wants to without any check on that power, his unconstitutional defiance of both co-equal branches of government, the corruption, the criminality. I mean, people can be forgiven for saying, well, Jesus, maybe this thing is over. Maybe it's time to give up. So I just want to remind everyone that we've been up against some pretty tough before. You know, the most powerful empire on the planet, the armies of the Confederacy, 300,000 American young men, 17, 18, 19 years old, lost their lives to end the institution of slavery, to make sure that we had a 14th Amendment, and to give Reconstruction a chance, even though it was defeated by Jim Crow. But even Jim Crow, peacefully and nonviolently, everyday Americans, including those from Texas, won us civil rights and voting rights. So look, we're up against some long odds right now. This is a tough road that we are on, but we've been up against some pretty tough stuff before and we've overcome it. So we are made of much stronger stuff, and we just got to remind ourselves of that, get out there, do the work, and win these big elections.
And you pointed ahead to midterms as a big inflection point potentially for the state and the country. I'm wondering, for folks who are walking away today, what do you hope the next immediate steps are in the next week, in the next month? What can they do?
I want everyone to know that if Democrats win a majority in the House, and maybe if Tallarico or Allred defeats Cornyn or Paxton for Senate, we win control of the Senate as well, there will be finally a check on Donald Trump's lawlessness, accountability for his crimes and corruption, and the very real prospect of free and fair elections in 2028. However, if Democrats do not win the House, do not win the Senate, then I believe the consolidation of authoritarian power in the hands of the president will be unstoppable. That is more masked, unarmed agents without badges or warrants sweeping our fellow Americans up off the streets. It's a Republican majority Congress rolling out the red carpet for a Trump third term. It is the end of government of, by, and for the people. So this is for the ball game, all the marbles. So we've got to do everything we can now while we still have time and not find ourselves in the position in November of 2026 wishing that we had done more. This is our chance, and we just cannot be found wanting. And I'm encouraged, given the 30,000 people out here today, more than 12 months from an election when it is so hot and humid in Austin this afternoon, that we are up for the challenge.
One more question.
Access to the media. There have been a lot of discussions and debates within the Democratic Democratic Party about the direction the party should take, and specifically how to win back the working class. What do you think personally the Democratic Party should do to get back into the halls of power?
It has got to be the broadest, most united front that this country has ever seen. We cannot afford to write anybody off, to take anyone for granted, to judge anyone or push anybody into a corner. You voted for Trump last time? I could give a you are welcome here because we are going to fight for you. Maybe you voted for him because you're working 3 jobs and can't make ends meet. You've seen Democrats get elected saying they're going to do something on immigration reform and fail to do it when they held power. Maybe you're just frustrated with a system that doesn't work and you voted for the guy who promised to blow it up. I get it. You are welcome with us because we're going to fight for you to make sure that you work just 1 job, not 2 or 3 to make ends meet, that you can afford to buy a home, that childcare is not an issue because it's guaranteed. The same with health care in this country. And then instead of talking about human rights, we actually act on them. And we could care less who you love or your gender, or any other difference between us. We are going to treat you with the dignity and respect that you deserve as a human being. If we do that, I don't care if you are a Mamdani Democratic Socialist, if you're a centrist Democrat from the hill country of Texas, if you're a former Republican, no me importa. We are going to work together, win this country back, and then importantly, deliver for our fellow Americans, because if we don't, we can't blame them for voting for the would-be authoritarian. If you can't get what you want from a government of the many, pretty soon you're willing to vote for a government of the few or a government of even only one. So democracy's got to deliver. This is our chance.